Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Nearby News. This is the almost daily update with House Test. Thanks again for joining us today. We have lots of stories to cover, and let's just jump right into it. The very first story, actually reported here by Jason Schreier for Kotaku, is that EA has yet again cancelled another Star Wars game. The reasons here are very wide and varying, and I really encourage you to read the full article yourself. It's linked in the description down below. What matters is that apparently the studio in Vancouver was working on a big sort of open world Star Wars game where you were running around as a bounty hunter, for example, and where you would have contact with different factions of the Star Wars universe. This project was apparently one that was taken over from Viseral Games after they've been closed in October of 2017, and EA apparently was not very happy about the length of the development time for that project, so they cancelled it. But apparently, after an update, Jason Schreier also talked to more people and saying that actually not people have been fired for this, so it's basically just stopping one project and starting another one. Because yes, indeed, there is a new project that is sort of just a follow-up with a smaller scope, and that is aimed to be released in 2020 apparently, so within 2 years almost of development time, which is quite quick. If the studio actually has to do it in that time frame, it's wow, they really have a tight schedule now. Or they just don't make that much of a big game, I guess. And to EA's credit, those people said the publisher did not lay off anyone as part of this transition. This news comes at a time of cost-cutting across the industry. A major publisher, including both EA and Activision, as we've reported. Some at the studio also hope that Orca might be restarted after this. The new project is finished, right? So the title now, as it was shown after the project, after the first article has been put up here, is known as Project Orca, and apparently the developers working on it were very praising of it. So yeah, of course, if this gets continued again, we'd love to see it, of course, or at least to see anything about it, Cancel games are always a very intriguing thing, to me at least, because there's so many could be and what if things, but sadly not all of them, ever get to see the light of the day. But I digress. Let's continue. Next up we have actually Forza Horizon 4 removing dance moves from its game, of course, and that has been happening in regards to all the personalities, let's call them that were suing Epic Games actually for Fortnite, and Microsoft went ahead and with the latest update, Series 5 update, they actually removed the Carlton dance and the floss dance, of which both creators, or supposedly creators, have sued Epic Games already. There are more people actually joining them. Too Many is already the very first one that sued Epic Games for that. But also this, for example, the orange shirt kids dance move and others that are now joining. So every day it feels like more and more people are joining in to sue Epic Games. And Microsoft just went ahead and removed a few of them, at least from Forza Horizon 4, which can be seen in loading stages or in the winning stage after a race, when people are just standing around and saying, hey, this is the top 3 people that have raced in this game. So yeah, that's interesting. You see, this is the impact that you have already if you just sue somebody. There's not even a judgment call for this, but better just go ahead and remove something before you're getting sued, I guess. Next up we have Super Dragon Ball Heroes coming to the West. This game has been out in Japan for a while, and as we know also for half a year already, there's the promotional anime Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which is now at episode 7, I think. Every few months there's a new episode coming out, and this is a bridge, at least for the fans of us here who are waiting for a next season of Dragon Ball Super, if this next thing is called Dragon Ball Super, and in between also the movies coming out. So Dragon Ball Heroes finally coming over to the West on April 5th, coming to Nintendo Switch and Steam, is a good news for me, at least, because I'm quite interested in it. Although it's not a 3D fighting game, it's actually more based on a card game, as you can see right now here in the screenshot. And so that's all that we know so far. It does feature all of the most recent things and characters, so it's very close to what they were doing with the anime. Not for example, Dragon Ball Fighters, which has to be very lengthy development cycles if they want to introduce new characters, because they need to do so much more balancing. In a co-op game, I would think it's much easier to do, which is the reason why mostly if there's a new character coming to the game, it's also treated as a leak for the anime series, because they're that fast with updates. But yeah, April 5th coming out soon. I'm really looking forward to try this one after last year's Dragon Ball FighterZ, so who knows? I hope I will like it, and that's the news for that. And almost last but not least, there's one more news after this. We have another lawsuit regarding Take-Two this time, which is the publisher, of course, for Rockstar Games, and they've been sued by the Pinkertons for the use of the Pinkerton name in Red Dead Redemption 2. And that is quite interesting, because there's a cease and desist letter that was issued by the publishing giant to the publishing giant by the Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations, the modern-day incarnation of the Pinkerton Detective Agency formed back in 1850. Now, the game has done lots of reference to the Pinkertons, of course, which is sort of the detective agency that's hunting after Arthur Morgan here, the main protagonist, of course, of this game. And yeah, the company, of course, is going for, what does it say here? Fair use, of course, for the name, because they're that far known. And on the other side, the Pinkerton agency is saying, oh, the use of the name suggests that they've been working on the game as well, but they didn't. So it's interesting. This could go many ways. And I mean, with the success of Red Dead Redemption 2, Take-Two has a lot of money to spend, and they could probably just outlawyer them with the amount of money that they have. So who knows? I definitely hope that we see the solution to this thing right now, because it's actually quite interesting. What is happening? Can you actually use a very common name of an important set of figurines in an old time, like the 1850s, close to the 1900s? Is that a problem, or does it have no problems at all if they're just that far known? It's very interesting, because these times are now very close to our real time right now. So survivors, or let's just say successors to the prior Pinkertons, are now alive still. And yeah, that's quite interesting. Two more news. We have a little update here that was posted to Gamasutra. There are now over 30,000 games on Steam. I personally think this is crazy. In the early days of 2019, and only counting games, not DLCs, not any other programs, or like movies, for example, that are also available on Steam. This is just pure games, main games, no DLCs, no free mini updates things, no mods, except if they are standalone mods, of course. If we add in DLCs, it actually comes closer to 48,000 releases on Steam. It's halfway congratulations, Steam, because this is just a quite big number, and who knows how much more there will be if you take a look at the other companies, for example, Epic Store, who is getting more and more, let's say, fame and attention, of course, and support also by different publishers. So, yeah. For example, the Division 2 will not come to Steam, so that's one more game for the Epic Store and not for Steam. All right. And last but not least, finally, the PlayStation Crossplay beta program also gets a new addition to play. This time it is Rocket League. After, I think, Fortnite has already started, Rocket League is now also getting the cross-platform treatment, which is we already know that they did it. There's an interesting thing that happened in the past, actually, with Rocket League, because they accidentally enabled crossplay, because people on PlayStation were seeing usernames with spaces in there. And on PlayStation, you can only do a username without any spaces. In contrast to Xbox, where you can have those extra spaces, like just for example, if I'm making the name House Space Test, then that would be an indication of, hey, this is actually an Xbox player, or these from PC, but definitely not from PlayStation. And that was the first thing that actually Rocket League on accident enabled cross-platform play. But now PlayStation is finally updating and saying, okay, they are allowed to do that as well. Why this is a beta program, it's just, I personally think this is just trying to say, oh yeah, this is just trying out. We could actually allow everyone to do it, but we're just testing it for now. Yeah, so there's not really that much that PlayStation is doing here, I think, because the only thing that they have to do is to allow it, and I think then the developers behind Rocket League actually have to do it. They have to enable this, so yeah. How do we know if you're playing with Xbox One or Switch players? Well, the game tells you if you're playing versus someone on your home platform or another one. It doesn't specifically call out which platforms the other players are on. Check out the blog for more info about setting up a private match and what else is planned. So let's jump quickly into it. Scion is the website here. And yeah, with special thanks to all the friends and colleagues at PlayStation, we're free to announce that starting right now, Rocket League has entered the PlayStation Crossplay beta program. Players on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Steam can now randomly matchmake with or against each other in online match types, i.e. casual, competitive, and extra modes. To make sure that cross-platform play is enabled, it is by default now. Head to the main menu, select options, and then make sure the cross-platform play box is checked in the gameplay tab. And that's all there is to it. You're now ready to play against other gamers on other platforms across the world. Very well. All of these links are, of course, linked in the description down below. That's it for the news today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. My name is Hustus here for the new bite. Follow us everywhere on Twitter, Facebook, and join our Discord if you want to see the latest updates and be a little closer to us, because it's way much easier to have a little bit of contact back and forth, little chats on Discord. So if you want to join us on Discord, just go to thenewbite.com/Discord. It's free. And, almost everyone has it now, so why not, right? It's just one more channel where you can also get updates from us, which are sometimes live streams, not just videos. So there's some value to it, I think, at least. All right, have a nice day, and see you soon, and bye-bye.